All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Tales of Miraleth, Dungeons and Dragons. I think we're gonna turn it over to Graham now, since
You've turned it over to me for the last, 3 times.
I know for a fact I have not.
I'm pretty sure you have.
Very well, then we shall call upon the witness for the testimony, Mr. Zim.
The witness was, Elliman.
Well, he was a witness, yes.
Yeah.
He was the main one.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you were the only one that was not either accused or potentially in trouble.
I still love that trial.
I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I didn't
legal
plan
eagle.
it.
Well, hold on. What trial? We haven't recapped anything.
There was a
Very
legal
well, then.
eagle. That's all you need to know.
Is it though? Is that everything I needed to know? I feel like other things happened.
There are some other things. However, everyone's issues safely got resolved. Risforn avoided legal trouble and even managed to recruit a normal through some means, willingly or unwillingly, and Graham dueled a personal demon who may or may not be entirely subdued, thanks to, and almost failed because of the viewers.
And Element got to vent some frustration by almost getting Risforn into legal trouble.
Yes, he almost did that. And the legal eagle, the best lawyer in Brightwall, was sweating some bullets for a moment there.
But he prevailed.
He is the best in Brightwall.
I'm curious about the donation goal now.
The only thing Risforn got slapped with was a fine. One that he could easily afford, thankfully, as an official institution.
And the savior of the King's Crown that basically has everyone set for life.
Yes. That also. But they care less about that.
Well, I guess that would do for the recap. Except for, Graham's part.
did mention that he won a battle with his personal demon that he almost didn't because of the viewers, but then did because of the viewers.
I mean,
If not for them, Graham would not
but
even be here. He would be in pieces.
I was both killed and saved by the viewers.
yes.
You're correct.
It made the fight very epic.
I feel as though you should be more specific and state that it was his actual familiar, Snow.
It was something inside Snowy, yes.
The viewers have
We don't know that.
Yes, you don't, because Graham's not told anybody, and you haven't investigated it.
We don't know about it because it happened in private.
That is correct. Therefore, and thusly,
the only proof is the canyon that Snowy left whenever he cut Graham in half.
yeah, there will be reports of unknown damages because, for some reason, nobody also seems to have seen it happen.
We were busy having a beach episode.
There are reasons for this. Let's see.
Well, the
let's see if you
donation
find
pool
them
has
out.
been completed already.
Goodness.
Wow,
Yes, it has. Thank you very much, Jaffer.
Wow, and the stream hasn't even started.
Yes, it has. It's been going for
Sorry.
Looks like 15 minutes.
Well, we have not. We have not.
The game hasn't
recap.
started. There you go. The game has not started.
Apparently, some people are less than satisfied with the recap.
That is what I meant to say.
Ah, you're leaving out a lot of details. I'm just being saying.
Well, if they're so curious, the last episode is available. Gives in your views.
So anyways,
Well,
shall
yes,
we?
no. I don't know why we all became silent. Yes, let us proceed.
Because I was thinking about trying to figure out how to convince Moriarty to sing the Witcher song, "Toss a coin to your Witcher," but toss a view to your streamer.
Toss a view to your streamer, oh valley of plenty.
Wonderful.
There you go.
Wonderful stuff.
Work with that.
You got to sing the whole thing, man. It doesn't count as a parody if you
don't know the whole thing.
Yeah,
I have not memorized that song. I still need to see the Netflix series in general. The only reason I know that song is because everyone loves that song.
It's also The Witcher 3, the game.
Oh, I thought it was from the Netflix series.
It might be in the Netflix series also, but I've not bothered with it.
I do believe the Netflix series is based off of the first Witcher game.
I could believe it.
I was told it was based off the books, but of course there's really easy ways to just look that up and
what came first, the books or the games?
I have yet to
Basically,
play any of those games. I have had The Witcher 3 installed for over a year and have yet to actually play it.
I started playing it. I can see why it got Game of the Year.
It's very good. Too bad that they nerfed it at
It's
some point.
fun, but as soon as I got past the first map and saw the second map, I cried at how much stuff there was because I'm one of those people who obsessively have to check every single spot that's shown on a map.
Yeah, no, it is like Breath of the Wild, but bigger and more intuitive.
Witcher 3 is a big game. Very big
It
game.
is
What do you mean they nerfed
giant.
What do you mean they nerfed it?
Well, magic used to be very powerful in this game, but then they realized how powerful it was, and now it's not worth it anymore.
Aww. That is a real shame.
I mean that.
No, you could kill things. You could kill people really fast if you spec'd into magic. Not anymore. To my annoyance.
I mean, from my understanding of the Witcher series, that kind of makes sense because, from my understanding of the Witcher series, it's supposed to be
Sword
guy
fighting.
with sword who uses potions and other things to get advantages on
True, but also in the Witcher series, magic is frighteningly powerful.
Oh yeah, it
Oh,
is.
yes.
It absolutely is. Oh no, dinosaur.
So it doesn't make sense.
Well, I don't think that Witchers were supposed to primarily use magic. Magic was supposed to be an augmentation to their abilities, not their abilities.
I do think that there is a Witcher school that focuses more on it, but for Geralt, who is the main character, I don't believe his Witcher school focused terribly much on it.
Not to the extent that they could be considered a male witch.
Yeah. Anyway, we should actually play the game.
Yes,
Yes.
let's get back to it. But this was fun.
All right, DM, you're the DM. It's your job to do that.
Everyone has reconvened post-trial aboard their ship with their newest, if somewhat haughty, new addition. The self-taught, at this point, is the only thing you could possibly assume, noble from the trial, whom is going to be under your supervision.
Did that noble have a name?
You know what? He is Chandler.
And Graham is currently basically comatose.
Yeah, no, Graham is back in bed with Snowy next to his head, watching everyone with some unknown intent.
Oh God.
Did you just make up that name?
No?
Okay.
Why?
Because you said you know what beforehand, so it was like... you felt
Because
like you
I'd
just kinda
forgotten
told
his name, and I had to think, what did I... Oh, Chandler. Right.
it. Alright.
It's been so long since I even really considered him, really.
I just thought he'd be in your notes or something.
To be fair, it's been 4 weeks.
I've been thinking of other things I expect you to do today.
Yay.
Well, we'll see how your expectations go.
True enough. So, you have convened, you have had a day of beach fun, followed by a portion of a day during, defending yourself in front of the Bright Walls judicial system, and come out relatively unscathed, and in some cases all the better for it. You now have a better understanding of your powers when it comes to the Ministry of Magic in places outside the two capitals. And you have a noble with... Well, you have Chandler, for all the good he's worth, who theory crafted a spell that somehow started to work after Element touched him, and conjured Magna's cape, as a reminder, seemingly from nowhere.
Wait, I touching and that's what happened. I don't remember touching him for that to happen.
That was the sequence of events that seems to have triggered something. I believe you patted his shoulder to try to make him breathe.
Oh yeah, I remember now. Yeah, I did went towards him because he almost passed out trying to cast his spell. I remember
Yes,
now.
no, he'd been standing there routinely for quite some time, straining himself as hard as is possible to try to focus harder.
I thought he was trying to go Super Saiyan.
Who knows? Maybe that could have been another outcome of the spell.
I will love that even if it would have been silly.
Maybe you can get him to try it again. And just observe.
Okay, so Chandler is in the airship with us, right?
Yes, and he is very self-important.
Enemy is going to approach the guy.
Yes. The The one that almost blew up next to me. How are you?
I am well. How are you?
Well, I'm not practicing any longer, but I suppose I am among people who have recognized my talents, unlike those witless college fuddy-duddies.
I got a quick question. How long did the trial take?
Just like 3 hours, actually.
That's the fastest.
So how long has Graham been asleep at this point by the time Chandler gets on the boat?
You? Well, I suppose let me say this. The trial did not start until like 11 a.m. So, the trial took a good portion of your afternoon. Because Brightwall, despite being a city, is a military city, and they don't care to fuck around.
Makes sense.
An incident happened yesterday. It's getting resolved tomorrow, come hell or high water. And then they're done with it. Period. There is no extension.
Oh dear. Now
So you have been asleep for, considering how you were resting yesterday, 13 hours now.
Yeah, I think Graham would be up. And upon hearing Chandler's voice, his ear basically like physically cringes into like a crinkle shape at the sound of this noble talking.
Chandler!
You gently...
Get up here!
You feel... Coming, Captain.
Bring the mop!
I must... The mop. Yes, of course. Like, he seems to be in denial, thinking like, oh, he wants me to pass the mop onto some lower class. Surely that's it. But his denial is not as strong as his comments.
Element subside and nods as he watches Chandler leave.
Graham, you feel something soft being pushed against your heel. It seems that Snowy is trying to push a pillow against your leg, and then pauses, realizing you've discovered it, and looks up at you expectantly.
Weird. Graham will
Your
pick up
mind is still
Snowy
connected
and
with Snowy's.
Yes. Like, what is this about?
Will you search your rabbit's mind?
Yes.
Roll me a will save.
Oh God.
Oh, dear.
Oh God.
You speak with Cthulhu. The fluffiest, cuddliest Cthulhu there ever was.
It could possibly be. It could be better or worse than Cthulhu. No one knows.
How'd you get worse than Cthulhu?
Also, Redo is
By
There's the Yellow King.
by it being what the hell is her name? The Raven Queen. That's how you get worse than Cthulhu.
It's like a million times better than Cthulhu, because you can at least talk to the Raven Queen and reason with the Raven
God, what
Queen.
was the name of the Yellow King? I don't remember. But I know that Cthulhu is not in fact the worst. He is the messenger to the higher ones. That's why he's so well known.
Oh yeah, wisdom.
Oh,
Yes!
that you almost got a 2 there, though. I saw that. But
You hear it cleanly. A voice that is similar to your own, but there's a small deviation to it now. And in
Oh.
Snowy's mind it says, quiet him forever while he sleeps.
Graham is going to look at Snowy and be like, as much as I would enjoy that, I'm pretty sure if I think I know what's going on with you, he would have to
What?
do something far worse than annoy me first.
Why would Graham enjoy murder? I thought he was all innocent, Bunny.
He's also a lot more sane at the current moment.
Ah, yes, but I hate him too.
Why do you hate him?
Witless, weak, and protected by his family. He is not like us.
I'll think of... Wait, I mean, is it my job technically to protect my family too?
You are capable. He is not. That has been demonstrated in magnitudes.
I shall think about this.
Oh dear. You're listening to him. Instead of, I don't know, asking him questions. Because you're pretty sure he's not supposed to be sentient anymore.
Oh no! Graham is absolutely concerned about this, but he also doesn't feel like fighting him again.
The first time, yes, this is true.
At least not till he recovers from the fatigue. So he's gonna take a stance. Okay, I'll consider it before determining whether you're evil and need smiting again.
Hopefully with friends this time.
Maybe.
You realize that our minds are as open to each other as a window, yes?
No. I was pretty sure this was one way.
No longer, Mr. Graham.
That's probably the most horrible thing you've ever said to me. Calling me Mister.
I've recognized your position between us. You did win.
Also, wouldn't Mister be before my last name and not my first name?
You've not earned that much.
Here's your last name, actually.
Well, anyways, Graham is going to.
I think this
to
is
just
more
kind
of a
stare...
situation where Digi forgot Graham's last name.
No, it's Ashfell. It's right on his character page.
Oh, that's right.
Anyways, Graham's gonna be like, walk up and be like, who's this very annoying person?
Yeah, you were out this whole time. Well, a lot happened. Let's just say Risforn got himself into legal trouble, but but it ended up well, and now we got an apprentice mage at our side. That's
Why? Let me repeat the question. Why is this very annoying, grating man with us? I don't need a second Risforn.
Graham. I implore you to please bear with him for a moment. I need him for something, please. Element sounds desperate when he says this.
I'm going to need a little bit more information if I'm going to tolerate what I assume is noble privilege attitude.
Yes, that's pretty much it. He's a noble. He's a high step noble. You got it. You got him correctly. But the reason we're keeping around is one, he is Risforn's apprentice now. He's going to make his life a little bit difficult because Risforn is not gonna let him be here without working. You know that about him. But the second reason we're keeping him here is because I need to ask him questions.
About
this person is one of those people that theory craft spells. And he apparently attempted to make some sort of teleportation spell. not with people with objects. So it's not the same as one that you usually see. But he ended up conjuring Magna's cape, like out of nowhere. So
does he actually understand the magic that he was using? Because if he doesn't understand the magic that he was using, or he's incapable of understanding it, you'd be better asking Professor Rosthorpe. Wait, was it Rosthorpe? Yeah, it was Rosthorpe. Professor Rosthorpe.
I suppose you have a point, but it's better to ask the source first before I go to an extra.
Here's what I would do. Get this guy's notes about what he was doing. Take it to Professor Rosthorpe. Explain what was happening, because this man, I feel like I don't feel like this man actually knows jack shit.
You may be right. You may be right. Yeah.
So, like I said, get his notes, and then next time we see Professor Rosthorpe, ask him, because again, like, just hang on. Graham will look at this at Chandler and be like,
"No, he went to the captain's quarters too."
Okay.
As he was called.
Okay. He'll be like, okay, so yeah, just get his notes on whatever the hell he was doing, how he was doing it, and so, because again, I really doubt that this person, if he's under Risforn, knew what the hell he was doing.
You're probably correct. In fact, that's actually the reason why Risforn got into legal trouble in the first place. He threw a fireball at us and knocked me out at the same time.
That's interesting. Is that what you guys were doing on the beach?
More or less. We had fun until that time.
Huh. That sounds almost as interesting as what happened to me.
What did happen to you, actually? Now that I look at you, you look better.
I'm just real tired.
Are you sure? You didn't get into any trouble? You didn't get into any trouble while we were gone?
No, none.
All right, I won't press any further.
He does say that slightly sarcastically, but also makes it clear that he's not gonna talk about it.
All right, enemy nuts. I understand. If you ever feel the need to talk about it, you're free to. But I'll leave it to your devices.
Yes, if anyone asks about a canyon on the beach, I wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
Graham will go back to relaxing.
Enemy is going to wait for enemy is going towards the captain's quarter to wait for the noble.
So, your apprentice has arrived with mop in hand.
Risforn is waiting for him.
For me, Captain.
Risforn is waiting for him on the deck. All right, your first lesson is to focus your mind. I want you to mop the deck.
I see. You must think me quite the dullard if you think these childish tactics would work, but as you are the captain, I suppose I can't object. Unless it becomes actual torture.
I am superior to you in every way, magically, and socially as well. Trust me.
That's debatable.
If you are to learn magic, you will need to learn how to quiet your mind, focus on the task at hand, and you can start by menial labor.
Work for monks or something? Isn't this what monks do to their trainees to try to weed out the willing?
No. Well, they might. I don't really know their processes. But I do know that this is a good way for any mage, or want to be mage, to begin their process to being able to cast spells.
Good Christ, it's just like the college again.
Well, yes.
Only it's the students that tell you to do this. You're seniors, and not the teachers.
Don't worry, I will be observing.
You must have quite the small list, then, if you can spend time on this.
I prefer a more personal touch when it comes to my apprentices and students.
Very well. I, Chandler, will mop the deck.
And Risforn is going to watch and make sure that he does it properly.
And doesn't try to pass it off to one of the not so intelligent doggos.
Well,
Enemy is also watching and saying to himself, "He's actually taking this better than I thought he would."
I mean, he doesn't look happy, and he did tell one of the dogs to go get him a bucket with soapy water, and then seems dissatisfied when he gets the bucket, and it is a bucket of water with a bar of soap inside it.
Come on, I don't think... Are the dogs really that dumb? That, or maybe they just don't like it. Maybe they just dislike him as much as Graham does.
They are smiling. He is smiling very much when he hands over that bucket. If you care to roll insight, you could maybe get a better read. All who witnessed this event by watching him.
You said?
Everyone who is watching Chandler mop the deck, please roll insight to determine if the dog is indeed this dense, or if he's just screwing with him.
I did.
Alright. Risform and Graham, would you also like to roll insight?
Graham's not actually up on the deck. He's
Oh,
still
okay.
resting, because, again, he probably looks like he hasn't slept for, like, a week.
True enough. And Snowy is hanging out with you, looking quite satisfied with himself, but thankfully Elena is bringing you soup.
Graham is gonna be like, hey, please don't force feed me weird things in my sleep.
Oh no, you're awake now. You can feed yourself. Last time I was just concerned, so I made sure you had as many nutrients as you needed.
I mean, I'm not even sure my body can process meat.
Have you had troubles yet?
I have no idea. It usually would probably take a while to hit me.
Oh, I see. Well, you don't have to
Also,
worry.
I'm kind of also kind of incapable of throwing things up.
Ah, true enough. Well, I promise you, there was no meat in that.
Okay.
Directly, anyway. I will accept this influence. So, Zim, as you Risform, as you are watching Chandler receive this bucket, you are briefly distracted as another dog, one of the ones that joined you on the beach, just sort of leaps on you, like feet off the ground, landing upon your back to embrace you, but letting you take his full body weight.
You just got glomped.
Risforn will groan.
You could roll a strength save to try to remain standing, or accept your fate.
Nice save.
Oh, why is it auto fail?
I don't know.
Interesting. But with a 20,
apparently I am tagged as unconscious still. For some
do
reason.
remove that.
I can't remove that. You have to.
Nice. Alright. One moment.
Risforn basically pats him on the head and is like, good boy, good boy. Now go back to work.
Yes, Captain. I'm so glad you stopped being dead, sir. When you vanished so many times yesterday.
Enemy can't help but laugh at the scene.
Yes, he's very happy that you're alive again, sir.
Hello?
Yes, good boy. Go back to work.
And the dog leaves, saluting you again, and hopefully he doesn't think you're dead again because you're out of his sight. But then you really just can't do anything about these dogs.
Also, how did my roll went? My inside roll.
It went very well. You see the smile on the dog and realize that it's not the familiar dopey smiles you're so used to. That is a smile of someone who's happy to have someone of lower rank than him.
Oh boy. Enemy is saying to himself, the dogs that dog actually gave him that soap with water on purpose. Without water on purpose. Enemy can't help but laugh at the scene.
The mage, or Chandler, has to go heat the water and try to shave the soap into it and stir it with the mop. Even though that's not what he's supposed to be doing. You have a feeling he doesn't know what he's doing. Trying to shave the soap into the water and heat the water. Oh, I have also
How does this man try to heat the water?
It's a great question. He has poured it into a metal pot on the stove.
Maybe he went into the kitchen.
He did. He took the mop and bucket with him.
Quick question. Who's my first mate now?
I believe it's still the Dragonborn.
Okay, Risforn's going to set him to watch the, Chandler.
Should I correct him or simply watch him? I can only bear so much incompetence, sir.
Correct. Definitely correct. But do not do it for him.
Understood. And with that, he will leave to witness Chandler.
To begin the long process of what he's about to do.
Yes. You can already feel he is not looking forward to this, as he witnesses Chandler using the stove to prepare his mop water.
Does he think the soap is a chemical? Well, technically it is.
Chandler is trying to melt the soap into the water.
I guess he doesn't know the concept of dissolving.
He is a very sheltered noble. He is a
Yeah,
And the
Risforn's
Dragonborn-
going to make absolute certain that this guy learns at least some stuff.
And the Dragonborn begins his long work of educating Chandler in common house chores.
How to at least dress himself.
Yes, that may come up, but not yet. He is not going to teach him that.
If it comes up, Graham is going to throw that man off the side of the boat. It doesn't matter how high up they are. Graham will find some way to throw him off the side of the boat.
Graham, no murder.
Yes, murder. No,
I don't think it would be murder so much as it would be a mercy to the world and Chandler himself. If the man can't even dress himself.
That is just speculation.
That's why
I can dress myself. Let me just. Surely I can bring my attendants. They'll work.
Like I said, if it comes up and he's like, I don't know how to dress myself, Graham is going to get rid of this man as a mercy killing.
I'll hold you to that, Graham.
Okay, unless stopped or convinced otherwise.
You will get that offer after an hour and a half, though, Risforn. Chandler is begging for you to let him have his attendants. And crying foul about this rude man who keeps analyzing and agonizing over every action he does.
Because
Like some sort of vulture.
Because everything he does is wrong.
He's being picky about how I sweep. What's so difficult about sweeping? Yes, I just get it in a corner and make many piles to get later in a public area, but come on!
You will do it as my first mate deems you to do it.
Where is this taking place?
Post mopping, which took an hour on its own, he was told by the Dragonborn to start sweeping the halls. However, Chandler left piles of dust in the middle of the hallway while they were still being walked through.
Congratulations,
you've inefficiency.
Congratulations, Dusty. You've literally answered everything except for the question I asked.
Fine, repeat your question, sir.
Where is this conversation taking place?
In the captain's quarters. After an hour and a half has passed by and Chandler's getting sick of everything.
Alright.
I'm sure Cray would probably be enjoying afternoon tea with Risforn at that time.
I was going to say the
dragon
same.
Fruit tea.
I was going to say the same thing. At which point, Cray would look up from his tea and simply watch the conversation unfold.
He's so unreasonably picky. It'll get done. Why does it matter if it's my method?
Because as we have seen of your... Risforn looks like he's about to throw up as he says, Magic.
A dog explodes into the room. Captain!
As we have seen... Go back to work. As
Yes,
we have
Captain.
seen with that abomination you use, you clearly do not have the right methodology for anything down. Hence, we start with the simplest of tasks. He will show you how to do it properly, and you will follow.
Then to show me, he said he's not going to do my work for me. The one time he did, he then undid it.
Yes, he shows you how to do it, and then you do it.
Not fair. I'm such a lower station. Why does he get to talk to me in such a tone?
You are the lowest of the low aboard this ship. The sooner you get that through your head, the faster you'll be able to start making progress. Nobility holds no place on this ship. You are a student. You are even lower than the crewmates.
Oh, how can this be? How is this allowed? I'm at least a passenger.
No, you're not a passenger. You haven't paid us for anything.
Well, then I can. Just let me contact my household.
No.
This one who whines, what is his name?
Chandler.
May I address him briefly?
By all means.
Who is this old turkey leg? I can sense his age from here.
Risforn's going to throw a purposely low-powered, electrifying bolt at him. Kind of a zap, be respectful.
But
it's like rubbing your socks against a carpet and then touching someone.
Yeah, basically. That's what he's doing. You will be respectful to your superiors.
But I fear he'll turn to dust within moments.
I will give him another zap.
Ow, okay, fine.
He just softly smiles and shakes his head. This one has no discipline. That much is clear.
I have a very curious question. How soundproof are like the walls and floor of the ship?
I'd assume the floor is kind of, not really. The door is probably not at all.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't think there's any soundproofing on anything here. It's more just a matter of
how thick is the wood for the floors?
Yeah. And even then, I mean, there's a lot of sounds going on across the ship from the kitchen, the crewmen going around.
What's directly under where the captain's quarters is?
Because
I would assume that would be like the crew's quarters.
No, that's the kitchen.
Yeah, and actually it's the dining room. It's where all the tables are. You can bring up the map. We have a map for this.
Ah, yes.
That's
but
right.
If I recall correctly, it's exactly where all the tables are for people to eat.
Yes.
And the crew quarters are closer to the bow of the ship. But while you're bringing that up, I will continue. This one clearly has no discipline. And then he looks at Chandler. When was the last time you had any consequence for your actions?
Well, just recently, I was put here because of it.
Before such events.
He's going to pause. Roll intuition, or roll perception or intuition, if you wish to study his face or his...
Is intuition a roll?
Sorry, I was thinking of another system that I played just today. Insight.
Perception or insight. That's literally the same roll for me, so...
Alright. You'll get different information based on what you roll.
Should I roll both then?
Well, one is studying his face and posture, one is gauging his intentions. Because you, let's see, with insight, you can very easily tell that he's cooking up a fat lie for you. He says like, well, not too long ago, just 2 weeks ago, I may have spoken up during a dinner party and I had to leave early.
How is leaving early a punishment?
It's socially frowned upon.
Is
No,
Risforn
Risforn, you can see through this shit. Oh, well, yes,
Okay.
it's captain's quarters.
Wait, what?
This guy's full of it.
Yeah.
Yes, this conversation is happening.
Risforn's gonna zap him again.
Ah, what? What?
Lies will not be tolerated aboard this ship either.
Don't know? And you don't know my life? That's a bold statement, sir.
Your
Risforn
words
is
are
going
filled
to
with
lean
stutters.
forward with his, both of his eyes shifting to a very piercing, brilliant yellow, almost seeming like they're, electrified.
Well, hold on.
Good.
I thought only one of your eyes could do that.
I was under the impression both can now.
Oh no, still just one.
Oh,
I thought my left eye could do it now too because I killed and absorbed the soul of the twin.
You were expecting that to happen. It did not happen, but you do feel like something's different inside of you.
Okay, well, just the right one then.
What? What are you doing, Captain?
Believe me when I say, I know when you're lying. And then he will lean back again and sip on his tea, his eye going to a round blue color.
Well, that's not especially fair now, is it? Fine then. I can't recall the last time I was punished exactly in a manner that would deem that you would find sufficient. Bro.
then tell me, where lies your strength?
My knowledge and fast wit, of course. My ambition as well.
Knowledge, fast wit, and ambition is what you claim. And how will that help you to survive?
Well, once I finalize these spells, I will shock the world with my innovation, and they will in turn publish my works in the college. I will gain royalties and acclaim for my works. And with this money, will continue my most ambitious works.
So you believe you have your plans, your ambitions, and the skills of which you possess them, yet you lack structure. How
Geniuses
successful
have
have
always
you...
worked at their own pace. I need the structure.
How successful have you been with these plans thus far? After all, we simply found you standing on a beach, straining at the wind.
I did successfully cast a spell. The trigger was unknown to me, but it was definitely a new spell.
So, for all of your ambitions, your plotting, your scheming, you have successfully cast a singular spell in all of your studies and practices, and you believe this to be the one thing that will give you sanctuary in the lap of luxury, where you shall continue in your efforts to simply be some great magician to be remembered through time. Am I understanding this correctly?
I mean, it's the beginning. Once I finish this spell and work it out a bit, it'll be the first step to receiving the acclaim. And from there, I shall have laboratories and anything else I so desire to continue my grand work.
And what of your failures?
Irrelevant.
Overconfidence can easily lead to foolish decisions.
Everyone talks about success. Nobody cares about how much time went into it. So of course there's been failures, but we just don't pay attention to those. We just move on to the inevitable success.
So you take such failure yet decide not to learn from it.
Well, I have succeeded, so those failures meant that they were just flukes.
Have you ever
Succeeding once and failing many, many times makes the failures the fluke. Yes.
Have you ever looked throughout history at the great mages of your time? Have you ever looked at those who have succeeded above you, who have created what you could only wish to aspire to?
Yes, history, ever the dull subject, and yet required at the college. I did not stay long.
I am not speaking purely of history itself. You claim to have a passion with this, do you not? A desire to succeed, yes?
I do, of course.
Then tell me of the history of this.
Me, my spell?
Not simply your spell, but spell casting itself. Those who have been known as great wizards, who have achieved what you so desperately desire.
I don't.
You know nothing of their success. You wish to simply stumble upon success.
That's a very inelegant way to put it. I'm not going to stumble. I'm going to achieve it intentionally.
If you wish to achieve it, then you will have to do as I say. It's as simple as that.
Don't teach my hamster to suck eggs.
You are in a position in this Ministry of Magic, or so you call it, but you don't seem to be any archmage that I've ever heard of.
It is my understanding you have agreed to submit yourself to the tutelage of Captain Risforn of this ship. Is that correct?
Yes, it is true. He saw a potential in me that the college seemed to have just so very clearly lacked. I mean, he must be sharper witted than those fossils speak in their chairs, surrounded by books and papers.
You have knowledge and answers so willingly presented to you, yet you are too blind to see them. What your current teacher is trying to teach you is how to see and how to structure yourself. If you do not trust in his teachings, then you are destined for failure, as you decide to stumble blindly in the hopes of your success. Also, there's been an influence.
Yes, and I will accept this influence. It will appear sooner than later.
Boost goal.
You speak as if you know everything. Again, I assume with such preaching, your family, you have descendants, don't you? Whatever. You're really popular with your grandchildren, aren't you?
I have no children to speak of, but that is my own choice.
I
He
See.
may not be a wizard, but he knows far more than you do.
But that's not very fair. He's ancient, of course he knows more than I do.
Yet you decide to ignore it. Curious.
I can work my own way into magic. I've got some talent for it, at least.
And still the ignorance persists. For all your wish of knowledge and for discovery, you still fail to listen.
It will just come to me one day. A spark of brilliance, just as it did before.
I will argue this no longer. It is clear that his ignorance is too great to listen to even the most basic of teachings. Once he has learned discipline, even if by force, perhaps then he will learn to listen.
Is that all?
Risforn? Risforn? Zim?
Him?
Oh dear, he has vanished.
I mean, I marked myself AFK for a reason, you know.
I did notice that, but nah, whatever.
Wait, where is that? Where is the AFK? I didn't
It's
see
the clock icon in the top left of his portrait.
I'm gonna be
Oh.
honest, it's very easy to miss.
it. Oh, how do you do that? I
Right click on your portrait, and there should be some options.
Either way,
there
yes,
you go.
that is all. Do go about your chores once more.
I have
How many
one
chores are there on a boat?
I have one final suggestion before he continues.
Yes.
Do not speak unless spoken to.
I like that, and I think it would be very good for him, yes.
You would impose such a
I
restriction
don't
on me?
believe that we are speaking to you.
That is a rule upheld only in the most Spartan of environments.
And yet it is clearly what you need.
I need nothing but time.
Cray gets up from his seat and walks over, picking up his staff, and just walks up fairly closely to this man, giving him a good look over. What does he look like, by the way? I don't know if we ever got a proper description.
He is a human male with very well combed blonde-ish hair that comes to his shoulders. He has a cloth cap atop his head and red and green finery.
What kind of cap? You just say cloth.
I forget what the name is, but it's not dissimilar to a beret.
The flat cap?
Yes, that.
So he looks like Moriarty if Moriarty were a human.
Just more red in the clothing.
Let me just look
Yeah.
at Moriarty
Red
again.
in the clothing
Well,
is-
shit,
instead of-
you're right. I didn't notice that.
just subconsciously designs Moriarty, but as a really shitty human.
Yes. I guess that is what happened.
So Cray just looks at him, and he's going to take a very swift motion to pick up his staff, take a sort of left wide stance very quickly, and then he's going to shove the butt end of the spear into and just straight into his gut.
You mean staff, right? You said spear.
I'm sorry. Yes, I think it's a bow staff.
Yes.
I was thinking of switching it out for a spear, but I don't think I actually gave him a weapon yet. No, he technically doesn't have a weapon yet.
We can write it off. It's a very cheap item considering your finances.
I think I was going to give it to him once I had looked through the weapons more in depth. But yeah, he takes whatever kind of stick weapon he has, takes the butt end of it, quickly takes a wide stance, and just goes to knock the air out of him, just straight jab to the stomach. Do I need to roll attack on this?
Yes. Let's see how effective you are.
Okay.
However, I will say the DC is pretty low for this.
All right.
Because he is blatantly looking down upon you.
He might even also one then.
I assume he's also flat-footed.
Yes. He has...
Here, let me just give myself a spear real quick, because I don't know what my thing would be without an actual weapon in my inventory, so...
Let's see. It would probably be your proficiency plus dexterity.
So +3? I don't know what my proficiency is.
It's next to your class end level.
Yeah, it's not that high.
It's probably a +3.
A 10.
For one moment, I thought you actually
does a 10 hit?
Of course it does. He stares at you, blatantly looking slightly concerned, but very much not thinking much of you. Until you smack him.
I smack him. I'm going to jab with the butt end of the spear to knock the wind out of him. And then as he likely doubles over from that, I would like to take the spear and then just take it the long way and then whack him over the back.
Baseball swing.
No, not baseball swing, but kind of almost like I'm holding the top upper part beneath the sharp point, almost as though it were a sword, and doing a nice, long overhead swing right down backwards onto his spine.
I see.
More or less aiming to flatten him out on the ground.
With advantage, he's basically doubled over.
Okay.
Just ruin this man.
That's the first. Wow, even with advantage, does a 7 hit? That's pretty bad.
I will say he's got negatives right now, so it's not been your most graceful, but Cray, you may have the impression that this is the first time in a while that you've gotten frustrated with this dumb, ignorant, just forcefully ignorant youth.
Why have you wailed on this man with 3 attacks?
I've done...
Well, one of them was advantage.
Yeah, technically 2 attacks.
He takes the hits and, falls to the floor, looking confused and in pain. What? What? Did you really? Did you? Also,
he goes back to standing somewhat normal.
I'll remind you, it was dexterity plus your proficiency, so your attack rolls would have actually been much higher.
Okay, I thought Fantasy Grounds did that automatically.
No.
Huh. I need to figure out combat better. But Cray then just goes to go back up, standing more straight, less in a combat stance, and then he looks over to Risforn. Pain can be a valuable teacher.
You struck me! You ancient bag of feathers!
Risforn will zap him again. I don't believe
Stop that!
we were talking to you.
That's not fair! That's not fair.
Perhaps we should let him spend some time in the brig.
The pain shall continue until he learns from it. And then he just goes to just very casually try and like bonk him on the head while he's just standing there.
For the end of the world?
Chandler will try to get back onto his feet. Clearly not going to let himself continue to take this abuse, quote unquote.
We're in the air already, aren't we?
No, you have not left Brightwall. You are still.
Remember, we have a
part where
mission
you are.
to hunt some evil things in their sewer.
Yes, you technically came here on a mission, and then other things happened.
Alright, well... Yeah.
Granted, one of your party members is all but incapacitated at the moment. With 3 levels of exhaustion.
We will have... Okay, yeah, we'll stay here and rest for a little bit, I suppose, then. Since we do have one of our members incapacitated, basically.
I recommend then we take to the sky.
Risform, your thoughts?
What would we go to the sky for, though?
It would prevent the youth from running off. Likewise, it would prevent any further unfortunate events with the local authorities.
That is a very fair point. Yes, I will make preparations now.
Gives a nod. Let me know when I'm needed and where I'm needed.
Thank you much for your assistance. I will set the first mate to babysit while we get the preparations underway to go to the air.
And once again, the DM is oddly silent.
No, that will be fine. There are no problems with taking to the air, but upon feeling the airship moving under him, Chandler is looking very, very unhappy.
I think at this point, Graham's gonna get up and like walk over and be like, and knock on Risforn's door, be like, "Why the hell are we moving?"
Oh, that's a good side effect.
Do your subordinates usually question you in such unorthodox ways?
Sometimes. I often just ignore them, though.
I will also mention that a level of exhaustion can be removed with a greater restoration spell, and there's probably someone who can cast it in Brightfall.
Well, I
There's
think Graham
someone who
has
could
spent
probably
like.
cast it here on the ship who hasn't spoken up this entire session.
Surprisingly,
Also,
no.
I would
Euphoria
like to say
cannot
that Graham
cast
has
that.
spent like almost 16 hours sleeping.
Yeah, sheer bed rest.
You
So how many
can
levels of
only, You can only get 1 level removed with an 8-hour-long rest once per 24 hours.
Damn.
Yes, no, I'll not let you game it. So I'll bring up the mention of a spell that is level 5, so Euphoria cannot cast it yet.
But yeah, Graham is still banging on the door.
Would you like me to answer it?
Yes, go ahead.
Euphoria walks over and slowly opens the door, looking down at Graham.
What the hell is going on, and who the hell are you?
You don't recall me.
I can't say that I do. I could just be really tired at the moment, though.
You require more rest, small child.
Graham's eyes are going to narrow and like, I'm not a child. I'm short.
What is your age?
My age is to go tell you to go fuck yourself.
I see you like discipline as well, and he goes to shut the door.
Graham is going to put his shadow blade through said door.
Like the crack of the door closing, or just through the middle of the door?
But yeah, literally through the door.
Good thing we have mending on this ship.
I'm pretty sure enemy can cast mending himself.
Yes, like, thankfully we don't have to worry about minor damages like this one.
Graham and Cray have met.
Yes, they have. Which is why I'm confused. Or Cray is confused.
I think
Graham also has like 3 levels of exhaustion.
Yeah, I think Graham is just playing up the fact that he's really, really tired. Maybe.
Well, if you've been resting so much today, maybe I could consider this to be your second level of exhaustion's removal, since you did rest yesterday, also post-fight, and did nothing but.
This is just the DM saying he wants to move on with the main quest.
This is the DM trying to be nice. However, I do not believe that Graham and Cray have managed to bridge their differences just yet.
Also, their conversation was like super short.
Yes, they met once, and that was when both Risforn and Graham did not care for Cray.
Yep.
But Risforn has come around somehow.
Yes, he has.
Cray looks back over to Risforn.
Risforn's just shrugging. If I could find others, I'd just, replace most of them. Especially Element after he almost got me thrown in prison. For no real good reason.
True, but his testimony was strangely lacking to that regard. I believe he was inquiring about our conversation and what I had given him to think upon. He goes to try and open the door. Is the door still, stuck in it?
The sword's still stuck in it. It's not preventing it from opening or anything. There's just literally a sword made out of shadow and purple flame sticking through the door.
He opens the door.
Snowy whispers, again. He's here. You can see him.
Graham is just glaring now. You done being an asshole?
I believe you are the asshole here that decided to damage my ship for no good reason. And who, for some reason, seems to have forgotten about meeting Cray.
Cray is going to reach down and pull the sword free of the door.
the sword will disappear, and Graham will put the sword back in the hole. Not making a new hole, just put it back in the hole and be like,
like a placeholder, I guess.
He'd be like, well, I don't appreciate people I barely know slamming doors in my face whenever I have a very legitimate question about why are we lifting off when we have a job here? Are we going somewhere?
Well, seeing as how the doctor has informed me you are stuck in bed rest for the next several days, and we cannot go do that mission as a result, yes, we are sitting in the air. I am seeking to prevent the student from trying to flee from his duties.
See?
After all, it's much harder.
He'll look at Cray and be like, see? Was that so hard?
And might I ask of you what concern it is of yours?
What concern is my concern to you? You're not my boss.
No, but your boss had indeed made this decision.
He's not really my boss.
Then
Oh,
who is
really?
it that controls you?
I basically help out with a mutual understanding that we both benefit.
I am still captain of this ship.
You're captain, yes, but also done very questionable things.
Oh, and here we go again.
I mean, if you really wanted to, just keep being an asshole, and I'll find some way to start a mutiny. Don't be an asshole. Won't be a problem. I don't mind doing things. But I'm not going to have someone I barely know talk down to me.
I believe that you really do have what it takes to be a very fine first mate. Would you be interested in the job?
My position is not with command, but with teaching. I must respectfully decline.
Very well.
Graham is going to glare.
Now, I believe that our snacks here are getting a little cold, Cray. Would you like to finish them here? And let's not forget the tea is a little cold as well now.
Is our conversation with the individual of questionable age finished?
I don't see
Graham
why
is
not.
Graham is going to kick you in the shin.
Roll attack.
Just a melee strike. And I'll assume non-lethal.
It is. But I actually have an actual thing for a kick.
Oh, well then, by all means.
That does not succeed.
Guards!
You go to kick, and then Cray quickly, where his leg would have been, he shifts into a wide stance. And takes the spear, and goes to point the butt end at you.
You don't want to do that.
I would advise the same course of action for yourself.
Oh, but see, I wasn't pointing a weapon at you. Graham's going to crack his neck as the black smoke and purple fire starts to rise from between his fur.
Snowy on your shoulder looks excited and asks, "Need you a spell?"
Risforn has summoned the guards on the ship.
Ah.
If you consider a stick a weapon, you must be a very fearful creature.
Just because you're not pointing the sharp end of a spear at him doesn't mean that you aren't pointing at, that doesn't mean that you aren't threatening him.
Yes, it does. It would be like if I that's the same logic of if I were to hold a gun at you with the barrel pointed at myself. That's like saying, "Oh, you're pointing a gun at me." Like, no, I'm not. That's not the business end of the gun.
You're not pointing the tip of the spear at you. It's more like you holding the gun, like pointing it straight up in the air and being like, "Yeah."
Well, dogs pour into the room, and they all look at Risform and yell, "Captain!"
Apprehend this individual.
You really want to go there, Risforn?
You're the one that attacked Cray.
I was going to kick him in the shin. That's not really an attack. Maybe lashing out, but definitely not
with
an
those
attack.
Legs of yours? Not only that, but you did just threaten
There's a little pole vault audio.
Not only that, but you did just threaten a mutiny.
I said if you wanted to keep being an asshole and doing things like torturing our party mates, then yes. Seems like because continuing those kinds of actions, albeit luckily they're kind of rare, seems like it might be, justified.
And how have I tortured our party mates?
Zale, I don't know how you keep forgetting about him. How you literally tortured him.
Keep doing it.
Also, the guy who you had a bear bite off his hand.
He was not a party mate. He was an enemy who threatened the safety of the entire ship.
Also,
we settled this with the court.
Also, from what I heard, you threw a fireball at Elemin, or near him. You know how he is about fire.
He was next to the student who was casting magic.
Fireball! You have other spells. You didn't have to throw a fireball. So
we have
you can
already settled all of this with Elemin.
Perhaps we should have his account then. In fact, perhaps the account of the rest of these quote-unquote party mates would prove of a valuable perception.
And on that cue, Edem is probably coming down the hall, looking at the commotion of the dogs gathering around the cabin.
We're not in a hall necessarily.
No, it's they're in the captain's quarters, and the dogs have poured in, looking confused.
Yeah, but Lemon will have. I'm pretty sure Lemon will have noticed that if he was nearby. And so he goes over there to check out what the hell is going on.
Ah, Elemin, perfect timing.
What is going on here?
Graham seems to be under the impression that I torture our party mates repeatedly.
Did you not have one more aboard the ship who you considered to be an individual as part of your party?
You mean Euphoria?
I am not yet familiar with names.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in a while, but yeah, she is part of our co-party
Okay,
ever since she
Euphoria, are you actually here?
I've been here.
You haven't said a single thing this entire session.
I haven't needed to.
I guess not. Would you care to join us, Euphoria?
I was just waiting if I needed to be summoned or if I was needed, but I didn't feel like
You're a valid member of this team, and I would be happy to give you some spotlight as well, Euphoria.
Alright then. Is Risforn calling for everybody, I guess?
Yes, he is.
Alright. So you guys can hear just excuse me, coming through. Watch the cart, please. I worked hard on this. So
The
Perhaps it
dogs
would be
are happy
wise-
to see you and reach down to pet because you are small.
don't touch me. I will bite you.
Perhaps it would be wise to also hold this conversation with either less dogs or in a larger portion.
However,
Yes, you are all
as you have
dismissed.
called everyone, the dogs have also brought Chandler, Squeak, the first mate, and Elena as well.
Would anyone
Wasn't
like
there
some
a
strawberry
kobold
cake?
as well? I feel like there was a kobold on the ship.
Ah, yes, the kobold as well.
What were you saying, Euphoria?
Would anyone like some strawberry cake?
Seeing the other first mate, he'll be like, "Oh, now let's not forget you trying to fuck this guy out of a job." And he'll point at the first mate.
What happened to my job?
Oh, he tried to give it to Cray there.
What?
Yeah, just to try to piss me off because I was talking smack to him and he wanted to be like, well, guess what? I can be annoying too.
Yes, and you threatened a mutiny.
I said if you wanted to be an asshole. You keep conveniently forgetting that part.
Are you two? What is going on with you two?
He is
Honestly.
bringing up once again the loss of the hand of the apparently the sorcerer that was insane and threatening the lives of everybody aboard this ship.
Last time I checked, after they surrendered, he wasn't really threatening anyone.
Talking about that mage, where is he now again?
Yes, Risforn. Where is he?
Dead?
Yes. What terrible act did he provoke to be killed?
He begged for it repeatedly.
Oh, yes. So you kill
Euphoria
mentally
was there.
you kill some mentally unstable person. So basically you're just gonna kill anyone who basically gets in your way is what I'm hearing. Or if they don't conform to what you want, or because let's face it, you probably wanted him dead long before that, and you just kind of decided to be like, oh, he's begging for it. Let's just say, fuck it.
Euphoria, would you mind enlightening Graham as to what actually happened there?
The individual you are speaking of did wish for death, which I believe it was a trap, which we fell into, but it happened.
He repeatedly asked, and I repeatedly told him no.
Until you didn't, right?
Keep me if I'm wrong, but hasn't this individual that is no longer here done other stuff? Wasn't he malicious towards the party?
Only for about 2 seconds until his ship blowed up. And then after his captain ordered basically what was left to stand down, he was still crazy and a nut job, but he wasn't really threatening anyone. Just wishing for death.
Seeing his mental faculties, leaving him alone would have endangered everybody in this ship.
Except that he wasn't threatening anyone. Even after he got his hand back.
He seemed to become somewhat docile towards Ward's orders, but he seemed especially crazy whenever Risforn was around.
I wouldn't have taken the chance.
That doesn't necessarily mean that he had to be killed. But again, that's beside the point.
Then what is the point?
Yeah, what is the point of all this? Just a lot of commotion just happened all of a sudden.
Graham came in here furious that we are in the air.
No, I wasn't furious. I was asking why the hell we were in the air like we were about to leave whenever we already, without any kind of, discussion about why, how. Guess what, Risforn? Just because you're the captain, but guess what? We're also a party. We're supposed to work together, which means that guess what? You're not really the boss of us. We're supposed to be kind of more like partners in this.
I mean, as the captain, he does have the commanding authority, first and foremost.
Over matters of the ship, yes.
So,
but
such as lifting off into the air.
But again, that's not the only thing. Graham is just going to shake his head. We're supposed to deal with things as a party, Risforn.
Enemy is going to do that.
But guess what? I wasn't mad until
Graham,
this asshole.
Would you mind allowing Element to speak?
Why? Actually, I am curious. Why did we lift off? If you don't mind me asking politely.
Not at all. Thank you for being polite. We lifted off as we had no real reason to be on the ground at the time. I was informed by the doctor that Graham is going to need to be a few more days in rest. And we have a student aboard who does not care for his tasks being presented to him. And we lifted off in order to ensure that he could not run away, as it was a court mandate that he was to be here.
I mean, what you call it? Crosses his arms and rubs his chin. So basically, you did this mostly for Gramps' safety and recovery.
No, he didn't do this for me. He did this to basically keep this guy here, which again I would have been fine with if it wasn't for the fact that Cray here was basically like, hey, why we're doing anything isn't any of my business. All I wanted was a simple answer.
Graham, you know how much me and Risforn butt heads, but I kind of have to give the reason to him this time. You're being kind of unreasonable here yourself.
Unreasonable? I just asked why we took off, and I was told to fuck off, basically. Instead of, just getting the answer of, hey, we need to keep this guy on the ship. And I would have been like, okay, fine with me, and gone back to resting.
But you clash with somebody, and it all went down. Why did that happen again?
Because again, this guy Cray, basically, whenever I ask the question, he's just like, it's none of your business. Risforn can do whatever the hell he wants and say to hell with the rest of us in the party.
I mean, this is his ship.
With your captain or with me?
Graham, you are not bound to this.
Could we please have clarification?
If you disagree with my actions, you are welcome to leave.
Yeah, we still have shit to do. And like I said, I'll do my part, but I'm not one of your toadies on this ship. I'll do my part, but don't think you have any right to order me to do anything.
When everyone aboard this ship is expected to answer to me. If you disagree with that, you may leave.
Graham is just gonna head back down to the to go get rest.
Academy shakes his head. Graham needs to learn how to speak with people who he doesn't have compatible personalities with.
I'd suggest Cray help him, but I don't think that would go over well. Perhaps you might be of assistance here, Elman.
Perhaps, but I'm not entirely sure. I could be of. I'm not entirely sure how much help I could be. He's a stubborn one in that regard, and I'm not exactly the best teacher.
Then perhaps you could learn to be a teacher from Cray.
Perhaps.
He may be a bit rough around the edges, but I have faith in Cray's abilities.
Oh, I don't doubt his abilities. I've seen his wisdom firsthand. Even if he confuses me sometimes, I don't doubt his intentions.
Confusion leads to questions, and asking the right questions leads to the answers you often seek.
That is very, very, very true. And that means mouse at that. Talking about answers. I gotta ask, where is what was his name again? Your student.
Chandler, he is right behind you.
Hello, I've been brought out of the brig for this zoo.
I don't believe we actually spoke to you.
You mentioned me. I feel I am entitled to a comment.
Very well.
I did wanted to ask you something, but you were so busy just that I wasn't able to.
Ah, you have need of the great Chandler.
One moment. Everyone, go about your business again. You come on in. And he'll gesture to Chandler, Elman, and Euphoria. Cray's already in.
Elena will clear her throat and say, if I may.
You, Captain.
I'm gesturing for Euphoria to stay. And what did you say, Dusty?
Elena.
Which one is Elena? The doctor?
The doctor.
The doctor.
Okay.
The party healer.
Well,
not exactly
sort
a healer, but yeah. Yes,
the
Elena.
From what I've seen, Graham seems to have some lingering resentments with authority and tends to hold grudges. Perhaps if you spent a bit more time with him on neutral ground, hopefully getting to the root of this problem, things like this might not occur again. I think he needs to believe in you.
I'm not familiar with his backstory, but that's kind of what I got. That's kind of what I got from him, from his mannerism.
He clearly holds no trust for the ones he walks so closely with, if he is so quick to jump to questions and accusations of this sort.
He only questioned and accused one person.
This may have something to do with his background, but I'm not certain.
Elena, this is a very good suggestion. Thank you. I will consider it.
Thank you, that's all.
May I
And
question?
she will excuse me. Oh, yes.
May I question as well? He seems quite youthful, yet he would not answer a question so simple as to his age.
She doesn't know. No one in the party knows.
Well, perhaps, like I said, once we're on neutral talking grounds, we can ask him directly. This could also have something to do with his background. I don't know myself, but if we're just straightforward about this, perhaps things will get resolved. Who was that?
Moriarty left.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
hello.
have really bad audio issues for some odd reason.
I see.
No
They
worries.
keep cutting up for like 2 seconds, then they come back in, then they cut out for 2 seconds.
I see. So, did you hear what you said?
Something. Talk to him on equal ground. Hopefully, things will start to resolve into better resolution or something of that sort.
Not incorrect. She just said try to deal with him in a straightforward manner. And talk to him on neutral grounds where both parties will consent to the asks of the other. If you're dealing with someone stubborn, you have to yield a little before you can expect them to. That's my experience as a doctor.
Your wisdom is definitely appreciated, and as I said, I will keep it in mind in the future. We'll consider how exactly to go about that.
Sure thing. That's the most I can add.
I recommend allowing him to rest first.
Well,
Agreed.
certainly, I'll tend to that.
I had personally written off his outburst as part of his pain, suffering, lack of rest.
Cree doesn't even know what he's been. Like, he literally he's basically only see like whenever he saw him, Graham basically looked like he hadn't slept in like 3 days, even though he's like you saw him like this afternoon,
Yep.
or like the previous afternoon.
Yep. And it had been stated via Risforn that you had been subjected by a doctor to bed rest. So Cray was like, okay, this individual is likely in some form of pain, likely required via some form of medical, who's being required to rest, which is why we're lifting up into the sky. Here he is now, grumpily banging on the door. This individual is not well.
She's got you there.
Although, again, lifting off had nothing to do with Graham's safety or health.
Not in his perspective.
Yeah.
Not in any perspective. It was literally just to keep the Chandler on the ship.
That was part of it, yeah.
If it was for anything else, they would have taken off long. The ship would have been in the air long before now.
I mean, how could we? We were on our beach episode, and then we got into a finished ride scene. We couldn't.
Yeah, but this is the next day after that.
To be fair, for some odd reason, I thought we were already in the air.
No, no, we weren't.
I know we weren't, which is why I asked, "Are we in the air?" And then I was like, "Oh, we should be in the air," and thusly suggested we should be in the air.
That's why Graham was like, "No, don't even try to like pretend like us being in the air has anything to do with me." Because again, he was in bed rest, basically comatose for like the vast majority of a day, to sleeping while they were still docked.
Okay, if that's what you believe, that's what you believe.
Anyways, let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue.
Undeniable facts of what happened aside.
Yes.
Except that you
We are.
have generally, when you're the only one insisting on a point, and everybody else is against you, generally speaking, you're the one in the wrong.
Again, how could possibly lifting up in the air be for Graham's safety if it wasn't like, okay, like as soon as you got back, it wasn't like, okay, let's take
stop
off.
metagaming.
I mean, Graham would have felt the boat lifting off, so it's not metagaming.
No, but you're assuming that it wasn't for Graham's sake when it was.
As soon as Graham found out why, basically whenever he's like, "Hey, we lifted off to keep this guy on the boat," he's like, "Okay," and then you're like, and then Cray added in, "Well, also because of for your safety." He's like, "No, that can't be. That's completely wrong, because if it was anything for having to do with my safety, we would have taken off as soon as you guys got back."
I know.
Instead of waiting until the next day, whenever this guy was wanting to, possibly escape.
The next day.
The next day.
Is it the next day?
Yes.
No.
I am sorry to interrupt, but this is going for way too long. Come on, let's continue.
Okay.
Dusty, is it the following day after the beach trip thing?
The following day and the day where the law trial happened.
Yeah, the day where that's what we're talking about. It's the day of the trial. We basically just got back to the ship. It's been maybe a couple of hours since we did so, and now we're lifting into the air.
All right, then. Let's continue.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we time skip, or because we're basically, I guess, waiting on Graham's exhaustion to wear off.
We were about to have a discussion, though.
Were we? About what?
With Chandler.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry. Continue. Proceed. Sorry.
Okay, so I have a question for you, Chandler.
Proceed.
It's about that spell you were casting on the beach.
Yes.
What exactly?
Risforn shudders when Element calls it a spell.
Element doesn't care. Element doesn't even notice, but he continues as he speaks.
Ah, yes. That was a work of brilliance of mine. My first successful.
Risforn is going to interrupt him with another zap. That was an abomination. Do not refer to it as anything but that.
You will not speak unless addressed, sir.
An abomination, a spell. I don't care what it was. I just want to know what were you exactly trying to accomplish with that spell?
Well, this is a recall spell.
Go on.
Sorry, did the student just retort with "you will not speak unless addressed"?
Yes, I figured we'll let it slide for just this moment and deal with it after Element has his answers.
Very well.
What I mean to say is that you are the one in the room now. Anyway, this spell will call objects to you that you desire. Simple in theory, but the range can be quite extraordinary. You could retrieve an item that you lost that is rightfully yours. As long as it has value of personal significance to you.
Something you desire, but what?
Oh.
Why would you have desired that the thing that you actually ended conjuring?
One moment.
Upon
He said that it was something that you owned.
well, not it's something you have to have held at least. Maybe not ownership, but please, like a wizard would be a thief.
Cray softly sips his tea Kermit style.
Way, it has to be an item of personal value to you. However, upon some hindsight, I realized that while I was trying to cast this spell, I wasn't. I was so focused on trying to make it work that I had not envisioned any object that I wanted to bring to me exactly.
You were trying to do a recall spell without anything to recall. That's the reason why you were suffocating yourself on the beach.
Well, obviously, now that I've worked out that kink, this spell will work without issue.
No,
I
you will not
believe-
cast that. No, not until I have taught you better control over and proper ways of casting.
Well, I believe that upon the fox touching me, the spell searched him for his wants, be it a stray thought or not, and it drew that piece of cloth. Jason.
Enemy rubs his temple.
One moment.
And enemy rushes his temple as he makes a really frustrated noise with his mouth. I understand now. So you actually can't help with anything. He said he didn't meant to say that out loud, but he ended up saying it. So hello,
Hello.
did you guys hear what I said?
I did.
I did.
Oh, okay, then Dusty was a bit back. Sorry. Okay, I'll have to repeat after he comes back.
Oh, why is Dusty muted?
Because he's the one that does Chandler.
Yeah, but why is he muted? Did he have to? Did he say BRB? I didn't hear a BRB.
Yeah, I think he's a bit back a moment.
Okay.
In the meantime, how's everyone doing?
Doing all right.
Pretty good.
I'm doing pretty well, honestly.
I think I know what the issue is. For my character, why I was rolling only a +3. I don't think I've applied, or I don't know. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, that was it.
Explain.
I had to go into my weapons and I had to change the stat because the stat was it just said base, and I have to actually it has to be base plus dex, so I need to put bonus as dex.
Hello, what did I miss?
Okay,
Hello.
you missed the last thing I was talking about.
Yes. Sorry. Did I say excuse me loud enough?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Okay, so once Charlotte got done saying what he was saying, Edelmin begins rubbing his temple and begins grumbling. Oh, I see. I understand now. So I guess you really can't help with this in this regard in the end.
Well, not necessarily. You have a personal item of someone, so now scrying is perfectly available, isn't it?
Say that again?
You have a personal artifact of whoever that belongs to, so scrying is perfectly viable now, isn't it?
What is scrying?
Scrying is the means of using something in order to view something far off. Basically, we could use it to see perhaps where Magna is.
Enemies face suddenly. Enemies eyes suddenly go wide as he said, "We can actually do that."
Of course, you can do anything with magic.
Except cast that abomination you do.
You say that, but it did happen. As much as you wish to rejected my spell worked.
Risforn, as much of an abomination that spell is, it got us closer to finding where Magna is. So please give him kudos for that at least.
I will not.
Well, it doesn't matter whether you approve it or not. But do any of you know how to describe? Then, or
That
do
is
we
not
have to
my area of expertise, but we do have someone in the ministry that could.
All right then. I suppose that's we'll have to wait until we can see that person, or perhaps whenever we go to the main rival city, we can find someone to do it. Element gives a bit side and gives Chandler a pat on his shoulder. Thank you very much. He says.
So at least I get some recognition.
Have all of the questions necessary been answered now?
My questions have been, yes.
He looks to Risforn.
All right. Chandler, you really need to understand who is in charge here.
Hold on. You were the one being rude and socially inelegant. So I took as much advantage of that as I could to repeat your words back to you.
Kreia begins to approach him.
Wait. Hold on.
Chandler?
Yes?
Kneel.
I'll have to kneel quite low to get shorter than you.
Oh,
I am
don't worry,
okay
I
with
can do
that.
it.
Regardless, I'm going to be struck, aren't I?
Bow before Risforn.
Ah. And he will kneel.
Kreia goes to stand behind him.
As you said yourself, you need to go much lower.
True. I would have never imagined someone to command me to be of such
Down!
stature. Fine. And he will.
What does Element think about all this?
Enemy probably left.
Probably.
Yeah. Once his thing was answered, he didn't need to be there anymore. I doubt it starts doing that right in front of Element.
Well, Euphoria and what's her faces are still here potentially.
Oh no, the doctor left.
Doctor left. Okay.
Yeah,
and
she has to
Euphoria
take
is
care of
potentially still
Eisen.
here.
Yeah.
Is Euphoria
Either
still in the
way,
room?
Risforn's only reason for doing this is to teach him humility. Because
Oh,
he
I know.
cannot start learning until he learns humility.
Oh no, I absolutely get that. The point that I was like, what does Element think about that? Was when Cray went up behind the man to probably just whack him again.
No, Element probably left once he got his question answered.
kind of like a mosh pit, but for like punishment and humiliation.
Also, whenever you say down, I couldn't have Boutique of Kagome from Inuyasha.
Ah, yes, the anime where two people scream each other's names, and that's the episode.
Yes.
I was on it. I've been watching Smallville a lot. So honestly, what's coming to my mind is bow before Zod.
That's good. That's good.
Very good.
Either way,
What does Euphoria think about it if she was still there?
I am there.
Does Euphoria say or do anything?
No, there needs to be a proper hierarchy.
A proper what?
Hierarchy.
Oh, okay.
So does he bow lower?
No, he remains as he is, bowing.
Cray, would you show
hold on.
him? Okay.
Is he kneeling on one knee or two?
He is kneeling on two knees.
He does not understand how to bow correctly. I shall gladly teach him. Is there any space available seen beneath his right thigh?
There
Just
is.
below the glute. All right. He will go to strike at it with the butt end of his spear, as you basically using it now as though it were a yardstick.
Ah.
One should not be able to see the back of the thigh. Straighten out.
Fine, you ancient pillow.
Does he do so?
Begrudgingly, and as you prod the areas, he adjusts them.
Next, he goes. How straight? Like how far forward is he bowing?
He is bowing forward with both hands to the ground, but his face is 6 inches off the ground. He
Hello?
could go lower.
Hello?
Welcome back.
Yes, hello.
Okay.
Is it better now?
Yes. How far is he down forward?
His face is 6 inches off the ground.
Where are his arms?
Sort of at angles in front of his head, on the ground before him.
He goes to strike at one of the arms, elbows placed firmly at the ground, 90-degree angle.
I will dirty my sleeves. I have not cleaned this floor yet.
He smacks him again harder.
Fine, fine.
Then he simply places the butt end of the spear against his head and presses his head down. Forehead to the ground.
You cannot seriously expect.
He basically forces it down to the ground.
Thud.
This is the proper way to bow.
I'm sure you would know, wouldn't you?
Then he takes his spear and then walks back to his seat. Then looks to Risforn.
Sorry, what was that?
I basically got him bowing on his knees.
You basically got him in groveling bitch.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Like,
perfect.
hold on. Let me find a good picture of it.
You know the Japanese bow where they basically.
I understand now.
Yes,
The
it's
dollar-
that. I put him in that.
The salaryman to his wife bow.
Alright, Risforn will speak up. From now on, you will refer to me as my lord. Is that understood?
This is not your station.
Cray?
He gets up again, starts walking over. Just letting the floorboards creak. He walks around him for a second. Does he make any form of reaction?
He does not. He remains bowing, but does not correct himself.
He goes ahead, kneels down next to him, and then goes ahead to jab him in the neck, specifically doing a stunning strike. He will be stunned. No, he needs to succeed a Constitution saving throw or be stunned until the end of next turn.
Alright, let's see how it goes. Yeah, I don't think a 3 passes.
I don't think so either.
He is stunned.
After he seems to recover,
Ugh. Fuck.
now, what was that?
I said that is not your station.
Strike
I
again.
will. No, I don't think a 4 does it either.
Your key has such a messy flow. I could realign the entire body if you needed me to. He simply says while he's stunned.
My station is your superior. I am here to teach you. If you wish to continue to fight me on this, then you may jump off the ship. I am your only chance of actually learning magic. What you were practicing, yes, it could rip apart the entire fabric of the universe, but more likely it's just going to rip you apart and you will die.
He does wish to be known for his magic. Perhaps that is his true end goal. The story of the mage who's ripped apart in a very, very unfortunate accident.
His name would not be remembered. He would barely be remembered. Most who come across that would not even realize what had happened because all they would see is probably not even a body. He'd just vanish and be forgotten.
That does seem to be problematic given his goals, doesn't it?
It does.
Horrified.
Do you doubt me on this fact, Chandler?
I do.
Great fun! Right, Boo?
Is there more influence?
Major ethereal influence.
Jaffer, I'm denying that one.
What was it?
I'll send it to Dusty anyways, but I'm denying it.
What was it? I must ask every time, what was it?
Actual death. No, thank you. Thank you.
Was he just going to die?
Yes. Just die. Just
Was that what it says? Just die?
effectively.
He wanted Jaffer was gonna have the guy jump off the ship.
Oh.
You might as well just have Chandler interact with Graham. Graham would probably end him anyway.
To be fair, Risforn is showing some incredible restraint here.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is. If Graham was saying this, he might have a little bit more respect for Risforn's self-control.
Yeah, no, you could probably hear this because they are not being quiet.
Oh no,
yeah.
where the rooms are? No, I don't think Graham would hear it.
No.
Mainly because of the surrounding noise and also because Graham is trying to fucking sleep.
He is getting back in bed, and there is wind now.
And the occasional
That
crack
and
of a fall.
the crew quarters, I think, are like in the middle of the ship, where the most activity would be like on the main deck.
The clacking of plates and the scraping of forks against said plates as people eat their meals, the conversations that go on from table to table as the dogs talk about whatever the dogs talk about.
Oh, I meant like the actual main deck, like above where the crew quarters are, like where they're doing all the shit stuff to keep the ship fucking running.
Ah, yes, one crewmate to another calling to hoist the sails, and the other ones yelling to each other over the wind, trying to maintain a simple float.
Well, I'd assume it'd be more that they're trying to maintain the position.
Yeah, most likely. Anyhow, to continue with training.
Before this guy can get anywhere, he has to learn humility. I'm personally out of character, ready to throw this guy off the frickin' airship and be done with it.
Oh yes, no, he is.
Graham would actually love seeing what Risforn is doing to this man, because this man deserves it.
Does he have any possessions?
No, he came here with the clothes on his back and a book, probably his journal of notes.
I'm gonna take the book off of him.
That is mine.
This was yours. And then he tosses it to Risforn.
Risforn will, first, do an identify on it, make sure that it's not enchanted in some way that's going to blow up.
It is not. It is a expensive book with aged parchment inside it, but it's a book. That's all it is.
He's gonna open it and flip through some of the pages, looking at, browsing what it is.
It seems to be his notes. However, this still offends you because they are unorganized and full of theoretical spells that are half wrong, and you just know this with a cursory glance. Like, no, that doesn't go there. These are not the... How dare you?
None of this is right.
Well, of course it's not. Those are my, early drafts. The things I hadn't... the speculation spells. Thoughts for later.
You know, I really like that suggestion, Jaffer.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Wait, what's the idea?
To make them special,
Fantastic. All right. Risforn is going to put the book into his desk. I assume he's got a drawer that locks.
Yes.
Yeah, he'll put it in that drawer, lock it.
To be honest, we were going down that route originally until he started bitching and moaning like a bitch.
Yeah, we were, Jaffer. We were going down that route, or a similar one originally.
Minus the stripping him of his clothes part.
Yeah.
I was about to suggest that.
We'll give you a chance to keep some of the niceties that you brought with you. But then he's like, bitch, Mo, and you're like, okay, that's it.
Seeing as how
I was literally about to suggest that because I was like, what does he have on him? We're going to take away everything.
We'll go ahead and go with that. Seeing as how you refuse to accept your station, strip.
I beg your pardon?
Strip, or you will be stripped. Cray, would you be so kind as to summon one of the dogs for me, please?
He opens the door and gives out a whistle.
Can't do this to me?
Dusty, would you allow me to be precise enough with my electricity to basically start burning?
You don't have to finish. Yes, you can do anything you want to this man because he deserves every bit of it.
I don't think he was asking if he deserves it. I think he was asking if he had the ability to do so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, Risforn is going to start very obviously just running his electricity along the seams of his clothes, bursting them apart.
Stop that! This finery is silk!
He just continues.
He is going to try to push your hand aside.
Oh no, I'm sitting in my chair. He's on the floor.
Ah, yes. Fair enough. He is going to protest loudly and try to put his hand between the magic and this. And his clothes.
Which doesn't really work.
Gray's going to go ahead and...
So he's willing to be electrocuted to save his clothes.
Well, of course, they're his clothes. These are fine clothes. Custom.
You can either disrobe, or I will take them off.
God, I hope Chandler doesn't interact with Graham She will not survive the interaction.
You utter barbarian. You had best repair these.
No. Take them off. Has the dog arrived?
Yes, the dog's here.
Great. Fetch some rags for him to wear, if you would.
Got it, boss.
Thank ya. Is he taking off his clothes?
Am I allowed to stand, Captain?
Yes, I
Oh, he's
will
still
allow
bowing.
you for that.
Yeah, no, he's been bowing.
I will allow you to do so.
He
My.
will stand and look indignant, but he will do as you say.
After
My.
all of the clothes are... does he refuse to take off anything?
He seems to have an undershirt and skivvies that he is
Those as
leaving
well.
on.
Because I assume they're
cannot.
made of fine silk.
Of course.
Yeah.
You cannot be serious.
Do I look
Only-
serious?
You look like a rodent.
Does this look unsure
Okay.
to you?
Risforn's gonna start pulling apart the, same thing with the outer clothes. Along the seams.
Fine.
Once he is completely robbed of all of those fineries... Well, liberated is the term we'll use.
Liberated of his fineries.
Risforn will...
I would have
Just-
gone with confiscated.
Confiscated, yeah. We can call it that as well. Risforn will casually take the clothes and burn them.
Oof, you fiend! That has to be at least 50 platinum.
And if you want to have a station aboard this ship, you will earn it. If you want to be recognized as anything more than a crew member, you will earn it. You are not a noble aboard my ship. You are a lowly crew member and a student. Do I make myself clear?
His face is contorting, but he says nothing to argue you.
Do you understand?
Mr. Joestar.
Risforn will use Risforn will use his thunderclap in a way to make his voice boom out that bit.
Graham hears that.
Oh yeah. It's like specifically can be very audibly heard up to 100 yards away.
Oh, yeah. No, Graham hears it. Graham just doesn't care at the moment.
Yeah, let me hears it too, and I guess it's
Fine.
I assume the dog would have come back with appropriate rags.
Yes,
Given
and
his
they
friend,
are ragged, to say the least.
This is what you will wear. Once you earn better clothes, they will be provided.
Ugh.
If you wish, you can go naked.
You make me consider it because I'm pretty sure I could find some way to offend you in front of any company you bring aboard.
You would be nothing more than a laughingstock.
A laughingstock attributed to you.
Risforn will put his very fine hat back on. Whatever you
I take
believe.
it back. I cannot do anything more to you that you don't do to yourself. I will wear these rags.
Excellent. Crew member, lash him to the mast if you would.
Got it, boys. We'll hang him good. You what?
Hanging? Oh my.
No, do not hang him. Just secure him to it.
Oh, okay. I won't hang him from the crow's nest, sir. What? What?
And Risforn will turn away, ignoring everything he says.
And the dog drags him away.
Cray looks over at Euphoria.
Yes.
So, did you enjoy the show, Euphoria?
Didn't you say you had cake?
Yes, I did. Would you like a slice?
That sounds delightful. It would go good with the tea. Would you like some?
Good with the tea, thank you. As long as you take the cake. Very glad you are.
Come,
If
sit
we
with
simply
us.
serve a plate before him and take the little wagon with the cake on it to them.
Are you not saying?
I would quite enjoy a slice of that myself.
I'll stay, but I'm good with the tea. I've had enough, quite a bit of drinking some dessert already myself.
Very well.
And
I would.
out of this whole thing, an enemy comes knocking at the door, just asking what happened. I heard a loud booming voice earlier.
Ah,
Someone was being
Element, come. We were disciplining the... We were disciplining Chandler.
I saw the dog riding away somewhere, and he's not wearing his clothes anymore. What the hell happened while I was gone?
It will make or break the man, but it's his choice now.
His
Basically-
focus was.
Go ahead.
His focus was too firmly attached on earthly possessions, so we removed them for him. Without such a focal point in his state, perhaps he shall truly begin to find another focal point. Perhaps that being true magic, instead of, well, I cannot speak for his academics by this book.
Oh, believe me, I really want to burn this book, but it could be useful to teach him what he was doing wrong later on.
Element Russian. I think I understand what's going on. I suppose I can see what you're thinking. Humility is one of the things that they teach us first when it comes to being a paladin. So I understand where you're coming from in this time around.
Humility is the forefront of every discipline. You earn your pride. You're not born with it.
That is correct.
If you wish to be a mage, if you wish to be a paladin, any discipline, you must earn your pride. And even then, it is good to keep it in check.
Graham might have laughed at Risforn for that if he was there.
Oh,
Enemy,
I mean, you Furry can probably tell him all about this later.
enemy gives us smirk. Gives us smirk, but doesn't laugh out loud. Yes, you're correct in that regard.
Risforn is just giving a big shit-eating grin. Now come, join us. There's plenty of tea here. Risforn will heat up the tea a little bit with, his various magics.
I suppose that it wouldn't hurt. I am in a better mood now that we have some lead towards finding Magna.
Yes, and we will get to that as soon as possible. First, we're going to need to go and deal with the situation here in Brightwall, and then the Professor Rosforp should be more than capable of scrying for us.
Wonderful. Yeah, as soon as Grass gets better after whatever happened to him, we'll have to deal with the actual thing we came here for.
So, Euphoria, I don't believe we've really spoken much.
You are correct, sir. I've been busy.
Hi, how are you?
I'm well.
Good. So, what is it that you seek?
As I've said before, since you've helped me out that unfortunate time when I was transformed upon my journey, well, I've been indebted to you, and I will been helping you out. But if you ask what I'm truly seeking besides helping out, well, I'm looking for an individual.
I would not hold you here as a prisoner over some simple matter as that. I appreciate the service aboard the ship. But what is this individual you're seeking?
A long time ago, he came into my life and disappeared with very little trace. And I've been seeking him ever since.
Do you perhaps have an item of his?
Sadly, no. The one thing I did have, I lost it many years ago.
What was his name?
That is what I was gonna ask too.
It was a scarf. He used to wear it around his neck. He gave it to me as a way to remember him.
It's unfortunate that you lost it.
As you can say, it was very unlucky.
What is this person like, if you don't mind me asking?
It's been a while, but I do remember him being very kind and sort of a daydreamer. Very nice as well. Very amiable.
I don't remember but you don't remember you mentioning him. You went towards that the mage to the tower because he was a polymorph. Thinking it was some sort of lead towards that person. What exactly was that? I remember you mentioning that something of the sort.
Yes, I do remember his occupation, as he was an alchemist as well as a polymorphist.
I see. So this person is proud to change shapes.
Yes, which is, as you can tell, detrimental to my search.
Very much so. What did you actually find him? He ends up being right in front of you, but you don't recognize him.
We just have to keep searching. That's why I have to be vigilant for that.
What was the form that you met him at?
My form? He was a rat. I don't know if that's his original one, but that's what he was when I met him.
I see. So, is there any particular reason why you're searching for this person?
There's a lot of questions I need for him to answer.
I see. Well, I'm not sure I'm not sure how much help I could be in this regard, but I'd be happy to help if I can.
Oh, y'all are very helpful already. All this adventuring is, well, widening my horizons, as you would say. The more I travel, the more chances come that I will meet him. Perhaps get a lead.
Well, we will be more than happy to assist you in it.
Thank you, Captain. Did you have some cake, by the way, Element?
I haven't, but I'd be happy to have some.
Before I will serve Element a slice. I did enjoy quite a bit our time in the beach, and after you all decided to, well, do your thing over there in the matters of the court, I was mostly in the kitchen. Please.
You're seeking an individual, yet you didn't bother to look around our current place as to if that individual was here?
I have been looking.
I suppose those are the things that you're busy with whenever you're not talking with us.
Oh, I do the chores. There's a lot of chores in there. Many chores.
I believe we have someone here now who will be taking care of those for you.
No need.
I suppose I would.
I feel comfortable without contributing in that way. I get bored, you would say, pretty easily if I am not busy.
I see. Help with the extra help you're not getting. I suppose it will give you more time to search for this individual.
That will be good. But don't you worry. My search is my own, and I'm just very thankful of you all just helping me out, offering yourselves. Thank you.
It is a pleasure to be your companion, Euphoria.
I say the same. Now, was there anything else you would like to ask, or perhaps
No, that
that
was really it. Just thought we could sit and chat for a time. How do you see the way things are run upon this ship? And please, speak freely.
Well, there seems to be a very huge lack of respect in almost all fronts. Very much. Constant fighting, constant arguing, there's uninvited individuals, poor lack of security.
When you say all fronts, do you mean equally from crewmates to captain as captain to crewmates?
Many instances where it's happened. Of course, some of them have not been to this magnitude, but there is many examples that they have been.
So that was a yes to my question.
Yes.
I will admit I do not show much respect to everyone at all times. They do make it hard when I run into situations like we just had with Graham.
Graham has issues when it comes to dealing with people of clashing personalities. I've seen.
Unfortunately, that is the case.
Like you and I have butt heads all the time, but it's not to this degree.
No. Something will need to be done there.
Yeah, there's much that can be done around the ship. I
The
do.
doctor, as you all professor to be, did state to speak with him on equal ground. I'm uncertain as to where that would be, so I shall leave that to your own discretion.
Apparently he was more cross with you than he was with Risforn when this entire situation happened.
That was
So
my understanding as well, but when I specifically confronted him on that, he didn't quite reply to it directly. I believe he's still very much tired, and if there is something that he needs to discuss with me, then he shall come and he shall speak with me.
I suppose you're correct. Although I'm not looking forward to see him interacting with you again. The first time was a bust. This time it had bigger troubles. I dread to think what will happen next. But if you're going to be part of the team, it's going to happen eventually.
Fortunately, it seems that Cray, and I are all going to need to come to some sort of terms.
Indeed.
I personally have no issue with him. It was his simple disregard to what I believed to be his command that made me so dismissive as to his inquiries. But if he seems to have had the perspective that you were not his command,
it is something that I will have to address, yes. Might you have some suggestions on how this might be resolved, Element?
Not at the moment, but if I think of something, I will let you know.
perhaps a reminder as to what brings our unison about.
It's unfortunate he was out cold when we were having our fun at the beach. I think he would have enjoyed that.
I'd agree that he would have, it would have probably helped a lot, as well as perhaps him being present for the hearing, the trial. He still harbors a lot of resentment towards me. And yet I only act for the best that I can for the ship as a whole.
I may not agree. I may not agree with your methods sometimes, but I do agree in that statement 100%. You've shown me that.
However we decide to resolve these conflicts, we must make sure to do so quickly. We are going to be upon the fields of battle very soon. And the enemy we face is far greater than any one of us can stand to defeat, let alone if we are down simply one due to issues of trust.
We have had several leave this team, unfortunately. It would be a shame to see another go.
If you truly feel such way, then the attempts to mend shall be done so in a genuine fashion, and as such, they are more likely to succeed.
Only time will tell.
Indeed.
What do you think of fixing things aboard the ship here, Euphoria?
BRB.
I think what the healer said had merits. Well, from what I've seen in the interactions we've had with him, we've never had him just a chance just to be without clashing either events or ideologies. As you said, it's very unfortunate that he missed our R&R time, as you would say. I feel like he needs some of that to get to know us because he doesn't know us, as you know. No, to be fair, I don't really know him. And I think that's a big problem.
He has been keeping to himself, basically, and it's made it very difficult to get anywhere. He is trustworthy in a fight.
Yes, I've seen that. Well, that's my suggestion. Something in that nature I feel would be beneficial.
Well, we have much to think on, and we have to wait for him to fully recover. I believe on the morrow I shall go speak with him if you two would mind joining me, Euphoria and Element.
I will join you.
I'll join as well.
Cray, I believe it would be best to resolve only one particular issue for now. And then we can have, once things are resolved between him and I, then we can bring you in.
This is a wise path to take.
So, time skip? Yes, to the next day. Or however
I
long.
have many pots to wash. And a slice of cake I gotta give to Grim. Or at least leave in his front door.
Time passes.
I think technically it would be 2 more days.
Yeah, for Graham to recover completely, it'd be 2 days.
You know what? It's whatever the DM says it is.
I mean, if you want to talk to him tomorrow, that's fine. If you want to wait until he's fully recovered, also that. Just... Oh. I mean, I am responsible for Chandler, I will say. But... oh boy. Anyway... Until Graham is recovered.
As long as Chandler doesn't talk to Graham in the way that he talks to most people, he will survive.
And while Risforn really dislikes Chandler, if he finds out that Graham killed him, Graham would be killed as well.
I mean, I don't think anyone would actually be able to find out.
Oh no, Chandler died.
Oh no!
But there was a small rabbit on top of him, like, pushing beanbags into his mouth for some reason.
Nah, it'd be more like a ghost mysteriously just stabbed him in the throat in the middle of the night.
Killed by ghosts.
I'm posting in Tales of Miraleth chat everyone's reaction to Chandler dying. Just Tales of Miraleth chat.
Let's see this. Oh no. Anyway. Not incorrect. No, that is quite proper, truly.
I'll post it. No. I'll put it up on the stream.
Chandler dies.
This man was choked by a ghost. It was clearly one of his pissed off ancestors about him ruining the family name.
Well, I guess we were supposed to watch him. I guess we can very easily watch him now. Someone put salt on him, I guess. Preserve the corpse.
We're gonna need a necromancer to explain it to the authorities.
Now.
Imagine
could-
being an individual who wants so much to achieve greatness, and if you die, this is everyone's reaction to you.
Although the reason for Graham killing him would probably be a little bit deeper than he just annoys Graham.
Oh yeah, that's right. You have a thing against nobility, don't you?
He has a thing. He has a thing against nobility, and now that he's sane and knows kind of some of the things that was done to him, he kind of has a thing against people doing weird magic experiments.
Damn.
Oh, also, I will state, all the Dusty dolls are gone. So's the bat.
Oh no! The Dusty
They've
Minimus
been
is
missing.
gone.
Oh no! Anyway,
Yes.
Well, Dusty
my
the bat.
dancing Dusty Minimus doll.
Dusty the bat was left back at the tower, so we're just missing the dolls.
Graham is sad and lonely without
Yes.
without the dancing Dusty Minimus doll
Yes.
to cheer him on.
I'll dance on your wounds to make them better.
Wait, Dusty is with the doll is with us, right?
It's not.
But
It has been mysteriously missing.
he was with us. He was with us at the beach.
Yes, and then he vanished.
Oh, okay. But what happened? What happened with the
other one?
Yeah, the other Dusty doll that I recovered.
Also missing.
Oh.
It's a mystery.
Oh no. Anyway.
So Graham is now not fatigued. He is now healed. It is 1 or 2 days later. What's going on?
Yes, he looks far less annoyed now that he looks like he's had some sleep.
That's assuming anyone's looking at you.
He
Risforn
looks
will go
better.
Risforn will go down to where Graham was resting, gathering euphoria and element along the way.
Enemy happily joins in.
Risforn will be
as well.
specifically dressed in his more common clothes, leaving the fineries back in his quarters.
Graham will raise a little bit of an eyebrow, like, okay, yeah, hello, what's this about?
You know, in hindsight, I should not have left the kick alone. Maybe one of the top.
Graham, we care about you, but your drinking is tearing this party apart.
Think about our children.
Elena, who was in the room, giving him like a clean bill of health, is looking over at you and just staring quietly.
That's not actually what he says, but
like one eyebrow very highly raised.
Although Risforn would have seen Graham denied alcohol at least once.
Yes. And assurances that he has never consumed meat in any of the drinks
hang on.
she has given him.
So is Graham denied alcohol?
Remember the very, very first episode?
Then Risforn will bring a bottle of rum.
Elena's eyebrow has reached her forehead.
He quietly takes a seat, pulls over a table, sets down a few shot glasses, and starts filling them. Would you like one, Elena?
You know what? I guess I don't really have to care. So, sure.
What the hell does that mean?
I don't have what she means is I don't have a reputation in this world. Fuck it.
So yeah, he's pouring out 5 glasses. You know, he holds one out to Graham.
Graham will take it.
He takes his own and downs it without a problem.
Why is the rum gone?
He hands the other 2 to Alamin and Euphoria.
Element drinks his own delicately.
Now, I gave you a clean bill of health, but I don't know the strength of your liver. I haven't done a lot of tests on you.
I'm fine. Graham doesn't like hammer down his drink, but he'll kind of sip at it.
Roll Constitution. Roll Constitution.
It's just a shot glass. There's not much to sip.
Not yet.
Okay, then he'll take a shot.
He Tiny Rabbit, who has stated, I believe, that he is a very young age. Roll Constitution. Roll Constitution.
Compared to others, he is of a young age. Because
Yes.
rabbits grow up fast. Perhaps after the 3rd. Because they will drink.
Yeah, Risforn will refill them. Offering
Graham's not gonna be drinking a bunch of shots. He'll be like, no, I'm good.
Elena, on the other hand,
Graham will pass his to Elena.
She'll sip. The raccoon just reclines after considering for a while, and then just this reminds me of This reminds me of times long past after work.
Risforn will just blink at that, but turn to Graham. So it seems that we have some things to discuss.
Bar.
Might we do so in a civilized manner? Graham?
Hello.
He failed his Constitution. He failed his Constitution.
Hang on.
What just happened?
There we go.
Disconnected and reconnected. He's probably
I could hear you guys, but you guys couldn't hear me. I'm back.
I see.
Graham will be like, yes, I don't see any reason why we can't start off that way.
I would really prefer if we stayed that way through this conversation.
Well, we'll see what the contents of this conversation are, but I will endeavor my best to keep civilized.
So, why don't you go ahead and begin with your concerns regarding me?
Well, besides the whole, trying to assert absolute dominance over your fellow party members, I don't really have a lot outside of some of your methodologies.
There is only one... go ahead, Element.
Absolute control.
Yes, where he's basically telling us that if we don't... where he's trying to assert, complete control over certain matters because he thinks that I understand that he's the captain, but I don't really appreciate him trying to lord that over us whenever we're supposed to kind of be working together.
I can see what you mean in that regard.
I'm willing to listen. He's smart enough that I'm willing to listen to his plans, but I'm not going to obey just any command. If I don't see the reason behind it, or I can't comprehend the or you get what I'm saying. I'm not going to blindly follow orders. I'll follow the orders. I'll listen to orders and commands as long as I see fit to, because they're reasonable.
Blindly following orders is how atrocities happen, so I understand where you're coming from.
Yes, it's how apparently my soul got ripped in half.
Wait, what?
Well, that's new.
Is this why you were indisposed for so long? You never really told us what happened that left you all batter up.
Yes, this would be related to that.
Aboard a ship, it is important that one person be in charge.
Yes, I'm not giving orders out to the crew. That's where that role comes in. I'm not giving the orders out to the rest of the crew. I'm not confronting you for command over the ship or contradicting your orders. But again, I'm not going to blindly follow nonsense or stupid orders.
What nonsensical orders have I given you?
Has he?
I'm not saying you have. I'm just telling you I will not be subjected to anyone saying they have absolute authority over what I do. Not whenever we're supposed to be, again, partners in this whole endeavor to save Miraleth.
Aren't you getting mad over a hypothetical over something that actually happened?
No, he's literally several times tried to lord over the fact that he's a captain and that I should basically just be brain dead and listen to what he says. Again, it's usually not followed by anything overly questionable, but that mindset alone is problematic enough to me. Again, I'll help out with the ship. I'm not going to give orders to your crew.
Everyone aboard this ship is part of the crew.
And now we're getting into semantics here. You know what I mean, Risforn.
When I say that, I clearly do not.
I mean all of the dogs and whatnot, and staff and whatever have you. But when it comes to the party, you trying to exercise your right as a captain to just basically say, fuck your opinions with the party, that's what I have a problem with.
And I asked, when have I done this?
Yeah, I actually would like some, a more precise account of when something this happened, because
how about just a little bit ago when you're like threatening because I'm the captain? It's your go-to thing. Anytime any argument starts, it's I'm the captain. I'm the leader.
Aboard this ship, yes. But I have never done that outside of the ship. Out of character, I will point out that I have specifically not done that when we were not on the ship. Except for before we got the ship, where it was clearly defined that it was Blue Queen and I can't remember her actual character's name, that were the leaders of the group.
Yep, I remember. That's kind of what he's referring to.
And either way, I was put in as the captain of our group.
Yes, again, he didn't really have too much of a say in that, because it wasn't anyone else, because he's not really the, necessarily the leader type, but again, it's more that he doesn't really approve of necessarily everything that you do, or the fact that, again, you tend to be like, you tend to use it as a threat against the party. Or at least towards Graham.
So are you saying that in character or out of character?
I assume that was out of character, which I'm trying to keep this more in character.
Yeah, Graham would
I assume Graham would have preferred himself in third person.
Yeah.
I would like to know when I have given you an order that was unreasonable.
Again, it's more the fact that you're using it as a threat.
I have told you that if you do not like the rules of this ship, you may leave.
I think Graham is asking for a different form of respect besides one of Captain Subordinate. He does understand the position of it, but he clearly seems to want something more than just that.
Then let me ask this. What do you want, Graham?
I know to be roundabout about it.
I'm not saying that you're not intelligent. I don't mind deferring to you. But again, I don't really care much for the fact that, again, you have a position in which that you're very easily capable of, lording over us and using as a threat. And again, I don't care about anyone else on this ship, but your party members, again, I don't care for that.
You've brought up Zale multiple times. You brought up the insane spellcaster multiple times.
Again, your methodologies of doing certain things, and again, as a reference to how you sometimes treat your party, even whenever the rest of the party tried to stop you.
What did they try to stop me on?
Throwing lightning at Zale whenever he was very clearly afraid of it, constantly. You trapping him in a jar. We tried to stop him. We tried to stop you from doing that.
Okay, putting him aside because he has been gone for quite a while.
It's still telling of your person. It's still telling of what you're willing to do to your own party. If it wasn't for that, I'd probably care far less about you being captain. The fact of the matter is while I'm okay with deferring to you, I'm not okay with just you having any authority over the rest of the party. Even if we, again, defer to you as basically a de facto leader, the fact that you can basically say, veto what you want, is...
You are talking as you have insisted that I have not done this, and yet you are holding against me something that I have not done. I'm saying I believe
you capable of it.
Yes.
I believe you want concerns that that's not going to be the case in the future if he wishes to continue being here.
Yeah, what would Risforn have to do to convince you that he wouldn't do that? Also, I was not here when all those stuff happened, so I can't speak for them. But I suppose Risforn does have a tendency to use fire whenever I'm around, too, as well. So I can see him doing something like that to somebody else.
I most often use lightning,
I see.
which does occasionally result in fires. It is nothing against you. There's just the simple fact that fire works.
Yes, I understand how fire works.
It works very effectively in combat.
And, if you wanted to use fire, we should probably be working to help him get past his fears. Much like I would have had to get past work with, your with Crag, if I was going to continue working with Kai. But again, that would take an active effort. Not you just deciding, maybe if I throw fire or lightning enough at this person, it'll stop them from being this thing. Scared of this thing or whatever.
Alright. Then we will work with Elemen.
I'd appreciate that, honestly. I've been thinking about that a lot myself. Like I was taught how to use fire myself when I was in my paladin training, but now I'm afraid to use it I'm afraid to use any of my fiery methods, only because I'm afraid I'll become useless in combat if I tried.
That's fine. If you want to go towards earning kind of my respect and trust in the way that you're asking me to, that would be a great start.
You have never shown me respect from the very beginning of our adventures.
You've never given me a reason to, and I don't care that you disrespect me either. I just want if we're not going to show each other respect, that's fine. But don't try to use authority as a threat against your party whenever we're fighting towards the same goal, regardless of whether we get along or not.
You seem to put a lot of emphasis on the word authority. Do you have a problem with authority?
Yes, I do. Authority, especially ones that can be enforced with, quote, absoluteness without any kind of checks or controls, like, say, a captain of a ship with someone who has proven that they can use methods and other things like that, even at the cost of their party's own mental health and morale. I see that as a problem.
I can see where you're coming from. What do you have to say about that, Risforn?
You don't want me to do something that I have not done yet.
What guarantee do I have that you won't?
What guarantee do you have that I will? What if the sky fell? What if the clouds turned to fire? This can go on all day. Actually, with Chandler on the ship, that is a possibility, but I prefer not to think about that. You are accusing me of something I have not done.
What I'm
You're
saying is that
accusing me of something
I don't trust that you won't someday. That's the thing.
How can I earn your trust
I
that I will not do something if you already have decided I'm going to?
again, like I said, let's just start with let's get element fixed instead of doing things like throwing a random fireball at the person who has a fear of fire on a beach. Good reason or not, it's doing that kind of thing. Because we probably should have dealt with his fear of fire probably long before this. Or at least started working on it.
Let me
He
rough,
is you a chance.
let me rough his shoulder.
You Furry, what did you say?
The Graham is giving you a chance. As you know that's what they say. Actions do speak louder than words, and all we're getting now is words.
All right.
Now all we need to do is once you commit to your actions, then Graham can also commit to his own actions.
So you want me to fix Element?
I want you to consider your party a little bit more before you start doing things.
For more consideration for us, you know? A little less lightning, more consideration. No more fireballs to our poor friend who is afraid of fire.
Very
That
well.
would be appreciated.
Very well.
Graham will nod appreciatively.
You know, as you do know I'm a healer, right? You rarely have asked for my help in that regard.
Yeah. Well,
Not a lot of
I'll probably need your help in the future. I get hurt a lot.
I'm always available.
I'd offer to come out with you, but I'm not as trained as the rest of you.
It's fine. I'm sure it'll be good to have someone here to watch the dogs. God knows that they could probably very easily hurt themselves.
True.
Oh yes.
And
oh, yes.
well, I was on that train for quite some time.
Yes.
So I have picked up some. Well, I've discovered that there is something similar here to what I acquired back there.
What did you acquire back there?
Apparently, it's a monastic school called the Drunken Fist. See,
Very
it's a
interesting.
style based on unnatural and jerky movements, which I acquired by being around beings that made unnatural and jerky movements, because that was just their new figure.
Oh, Graham will be like, oh, and before I forget, we might want to be careful around Snowy because you may have heard about this canyon carved into the beach. Yeah, that was Snowy.
I did.
I think my patron kind of possessed him for a little bit, and may still be lingering.
The bunny is oddly enough, just looking like a regular rabbit right now. If any of you would care to make intuition or insight checks.
Insight checks?
Yes.
Risforn would have already left the room.
Ah.
On a lighter note, Graham, did you happen to eat some cake earlier?
I can't say that I did. I've been pretty much comatose for the last, 4 days.
Those dogs! Oh. Well, in that case, excuse me then. And Furry will leave angrily.
Graham will be like, okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
He'll be like, so are we gonna be doing the thing in the sewers, or are we? Because if we're not, we might as well start trying to acclimate you back to not being afraid of fire. Because I'm pretty sure fireball would be a great move to use in a sewer, in closed quarters and all that.
No, we were actually waiting for you to be better for us to go on that mission. So I suppose that's the thing we're going to do next. I'll be fine. We can work on that after.
All right, don't worry. If you pass out, I'll protect you until I can slap you awake.
I appreciate that. Also, I made an insight on Snowy.
Yes. You can tell that this rabbit, at the moment, is acting. No, he's just being a bit too deliberately rabbit-like and not making eye contact or looking in your general direction.
There is something wrong with Snowy, and I can see that. And let me say this out loud.
Graham will bring out the Shadow Blade. Snowy had apparently, in his previous state, had kind of broken my powers, and apparently I went through some kind of trial by my patron to get my powers fixed, and there might be more.
One of Snowy's ears, perks towards your direction.
So that's what left you comatose for those 3 days.
Yeah.
It must be grueling to have one of the Eldritch gods as a patron.
Possibly.
Snowy's ear perks away.
I mean, I don't technically think my people have ever worshipped an eldritch god.
How did you came to become his patron, to become patron of him then? To have his patronage, I mean.
Well, that's a long story that might be that way. You might need to wait. We should probably find Risforn and decide as a party what our next move is going to be now that I'm better and we seem to be in a position to actually do things.
Good idea. Well, let us reconvene.
Graham will go with Elman to look for Risforn and the rest of the party.
As you walk out of the room, Chandler is on the floor, bound with rope, and being dragged by a dog.
Last I checked, Chandler was tied to the mast.
That was days ago when you gave that order.
To the mast.
That was yesterday.
No, we time
multiple days passed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been 2 days.
I was planning to talk to Graham before he was fully recovered, but all right.
Oh, okay. Then, no, I mean, we can do that too. So then Graham sleeps for another day.
No, in that case, if Graham is back to normal, then Risforn would have left Chandler there for a day, and then had him released and put him into the command of probably like the second mate or something, you know.
The third mate.
There are usually multiple mates on the ship. They all manage their own things. There's always a chain of command.
Yep.
And basically, yeah, the lowest one. For a ship this size, probably only up to 3. So he's in the command of the third mate, who would basically have orders to make sure that he does his work on the ship until he can earn his way
He's
up.
under the command of the smartest dog, then.
Basically.
Graham will smile as he passes Chandler.
Element Pay said no mind.
This is the third mate, then. Let's just say that. The third mate is carrying him around like a child pulling a bag of luggage. Feet by his feet, so his face is very much tracking.
Graham is he's trying not to laugh loudly, but he's still laughing audibly.
Think of those splinters, though. Just God.
Oh, this is intentional. Nobody likes Chandler.
Graham approves of this. And his opinion of Risforn actually goes up a little bit, because he's pretty sure that Risforn has something to do with this.
Bonding over mutual hatred of someone worse. My work here is done.
Okay, so we went to look.
It's more just that, that Risforn is, at least has some understanding that even if he doesn't necessarily think that it applies to him all the time, that, sometimes respect and stuff needs to be earned.
My face! My beautiful face! I don't see it. Kiss the floor.
I am really enjoying this.
So yeah, Graham will, if we're doing the multiple day time skip, then yeah, Graham will look for Risforn.
Likely in his quarters.
Cray is not there. To note.
I don't think Graham would have really have cared too much not seeing Cray.
I know. I just feel that I should state that because it's been fairly common that Cray is just in Risforn's quarters.
True.
Yeah.
Probably much to Graham's annoyance.
Risforn would have requested Euphoria's presence in his cabin.
You called, Captain?
How would you suggest we go about fixing this fear of fire?
Remind me, what started this again?
Well, things happened and he kind of wound up being hit by about 6 fireballs.
Zombies exploded in necromantic fire.
And nearly killed him. They blinded him in one eye and caused lasting health damage.
Yeah, basically what Risforn's relaying.
Oh. I'm amazed he has his fur after all that. Hell, I'm amazed he's even alive.
No one said he had his fur necessarily.
His armor was completely disintegrated. It's probably the reason why he still has fur. He got a new armor afterwards.
Element sitting over here looking like fucking Zuko.
Probably. He probably is in a few places still.
Yeah, there was one area that could not be fully restored, and that's why he's missing a bit of his maximum health. There was a restoration. There was a greater restoration scroll that got him his eye back, though.
Yeah, he got his eye back. I believe the specifics of why his health is down is because of infection.
Necromantic energies.
Yeah.
And a very bad infection.
Necromantic infection.
Luckily, our doc has the scalpeling skills to, keep it from getting worse.
Yes. No, there's a gradual recovery. It's slow, but it's not getting worse.
Speaking of, if Risforn is busy, he'll probably find the doctor since they're going into a sewer and ask about what they need to do to make sure that Element's condition doesn't drastically worsen while in a sewer.
Well, the thing about sewers is, while there is a lot of bacteria there, as it's not exactly airborne. So as long as the wound itself does not make contact with anything substantial,
Keep him out
it
of
should
keep
be
him out
fine.
of the waste sludge. Gotcha.
I'd also recommend he does not get chilled, aka fall into any liquid. And take this with you. And she will hand him a rag and a bottle of very see-through liquid.
What is this?
This is pure alcohol. I managed to distill it. And this, and she hands another bottle, is peroxide. There are lots of things in this town that are similar things from my home. And with a bit of trial, error, and knowledge, and I'm very thankful to the dogs for being so cooperative, I can, with reasonable assurance, be sure that these will clean any wounds as long as it's applied very quickly so that there's no risk of anything setting in.
All right.
This one will burn less, and she points at the peroxide. This one will clean faster, though, and more vigorously.
So if it's minor contact with sewer sludge, the less burning one. If it's severe contact, or it was particularly
If there's an open
bad,
wound that comes into contact with sewage stuff.
All right.
I think Euphora was going to say something a moment ago.
About Element's fear of fire.
Right. As I wanted to say, Element definitely needs to spend more time with me now that I know of his condition. You'd think he'd have like little to no issues considering how he keeps himself going around. Nonetheless, I think I have a couple ideas.
Well, however, I may assist.
I do. I do. Okay. My idea at first is to ease him by adapting his mental fortitude into the for having fire near him. I do have the ability to calm his emotions during distressful times. What we can do is that we can have him calm his emotions, then slowly ease him into seeing fire. I would need someone to keep the fire going as I do the spell. As time goes on, we could reduce the intensity of the spell little by little until he is able to take the full front of just being near fire at its fullest.
We could also use illusions to create a fire. Just a fake one.
Yeah, but I feel like the real thing is much more beneficial because once we go into combat, the real fire will be much more noticeable, I would say. It'll take longer and perhaps be a little more dangerous, but I feel it'll be much better for him in the long run.
All right. I will go by your expertise on this matter.
The second for his a necromantic. What was it?
Infection? You mean?
Infection.
Yep.
I do have
It's.
a couple
I think
spells as well of that for handling conditions such as that, but I think it will take a while. But I just need him to come to my room at least once a day for me to apply it.
Please do what you can and let me know if there is something I can do to assist.
I will let you know. For the first one, I definitely would need your help.
Absolutely, when you are ready for that.
Well, Captain. Very well, Captain.
And it is time for us to end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my.
Yeah, that ended perfectly, actually. It's 11 o'clock.
Yes. And I feel like things finally got resolved.
yes, very satisfying.
This was a very
We'll
satisfying
see.
session, honestly.
And all it took was Chandler.
Chandler's our contempt for Chandler brought us all together.
All
we were
right,
able to delay the main
everyone.
story for one more
Yes.
session.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening for Tales of Miraleth Dungeons and Dragons. I will be back tomorrow. I am hoping to do some VR chat with you guys, so do come on by for that. Even if you don't have VR, you can still come join, hang out and stuff. Just a nice little get-together, hangout kind of thing. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We got links for our Discord, Telegram, Twitter, Patreon, all those things there on the website, as well as down in the description below. Do consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. You can support the channel and make sure that I can continue bringing these streams to you all. But for now, thank you all so much for joining, and have a Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Goodbye and
Happy
Merry Christmas, all.
holidays!
Take
Merry
care,
Christmas,
guys.
everybody.